All right, let's get to work. Okay, so here is the paper, 2021 January. So let me see. All right, can everybody see see the screen? Can you read the question?
Yes, sir.
Maybe I can make it a bit bigger so you can probably see it better. All right, so a little bit bigger, right? All right. So, all right. I am not going to read the question because I know you guys can all read. I'll simply put the question on the screen and then now you provide the answer. What's the question? Question number one. Read carefully. All right. So what is the answer for 1A?
High processing power.
High processing power, yes. That's
A
true.
massive storage capability.
Massive storage capability. Fine. Yeah. All right. So as you go up the scales, go up the level in the computer architectures or types of computers, for example, from mobile devices, all right, then you go, the next stage is what we call microcomputers, also called PCs, personal computers, right? Those are laptops and desktops, right? So micro architecture are basically referring to PCs. So the first is mobile devices, then micro PCs for individuals. Then, okay, Miss Campbell, what's up?
Sir, do you have to write out a full reasoning for the high processing power?
No, it simply says state. The question says state. So just state, right? A simple sentence of just like how you said it. All right. I'll
Okay.
tell you when you have to kind of explain things in detail, right? So after mobile PCs, then you have microcomputers, mobile computers, sorry, laptops, sorry, geez. Let me recalibrate my brain. Mobile computers include like calculators, phones, tablets, those small devices. Pocket computers can carry in a purse. A microcomputer refers to PCs, laptops, and desktop computers. And those are in the same category. Then you go to mini computers. Those are like server machines that will run a small office or small building. All right, I'm coming to you. I think I'm gonna just finish this part first, right? So run a very small network of, let us say, a few dozen computers. All right. And then the next one is mainframes. Now, mainframes are much bigger computers that can take up an entire room or entire shelf area. Those computers are really dealing with and handling networks of a significant size, maybe a few hundred computers or a few scores, like 80, 90 computers or a few hundred. Those are mainly designed for filtering out data to various computers, client computers, we call them client computers on the network. A server can refer to a mainframe or a mini computer. What a server does, imagine a restaurant. A server in a restaurant, the waiter or waitress is the one that is delivering food to the people, deciding who gets what based upon their order. That is what a server does. The client machines are the regular machines, regular computers, normally smaller computers that are requesting data from the server on a network that the server is managing. A supercomputer, those can run networks too, yes, but their main purpose is to really do intense calculations. Like you want to travel to Mars, um, oceanic exploration, weather forecasting, building planes, all right, submarines, stuff like that, geological stuff like earthquakes and so on, and moving up tectonic plates, all of those different things will be handled more than likely by a supercomputer. Anything that involves a lot of robust calculation is managed by a supercomputer, the fastest computers in the world, the fastest, the biggest, the most expensive, the ones with the most storage. They are so fast that they don't even store data in megahertz or gigahertz as we know them for our regular PCs, microcomputers. They measure speed in terms of flops. And flops really is a coining of a few terms, which basically refer to floating point operations per second. All right, that's what flops mean. So the term is flops. So it's floating point operations per second. All right. So this is way much faster, like a different level of speed. Like imagine a car that you say, we're going 200 inches an hour. And then you think him going fast, right? Then another car says, guess what? No, that's foolishness. I am going 200 meters an hour. Another one says I'm going 200 kilometers an hour. Next one says I'm going 200 miles an hour. Another one says I'm going 200 marine nautical miles per hour. So each of them is a different scale of speed. Flops is a different scale, not way much faster than megahertz. Megahertz as we are used to. Flops, floating point operations per second. All right. Yes, if you have not forgotten your question, hopefully you have not forgotten your question. I can accommodate your question. No, go ahead, please.
My question was answered.
What was what? Was answered. Okay, all right,
Sir,
good.
the mainframe and mini computers.
All
That
right,
what
cool.
was the difference?
Yes, so mini computers, the truth is they might look like a regular system unit, but they're just thicker, longer, maybe a little bit higher and more robust. They are designed as servers for a few computers, maybe like say 5 computers, 10, 20, 50, 30, fine, no problem. But you have other servers now that are called mainframes. If you happen to go into Scotiabank, sometimes you go down to customer service area, I look toward the back, you see like a cabinet-like thing with some like a little shelf, like almost like a them stairs when I use to play a dance also, with this whole bunch of strings and lights on it. That is what a server looks like. It looks so fancy like it's a computer, but look like shelvings on a cabinet with a lot of lights, network cables coming from it. All it manages is just the flow of data to the various computers on the network. That's what it does. Servers can be a mainframe or a mini computer. All right. That's the traditional explanation, but the mini is kind of coining a different reference right now. But I don't think CXC is using that right now. They have not. As the syllabus still said the same thing. And then the next scale up is the supercomputer that manages networks, yes, but it does more than that. It is a serious number cruncher doing complex calculations much, much, much faster than megahertz, gigahertz systems. All right. Part B. B1. B1. Not B2, B1. Go ahead, Jordan.
Servers.
The local area networks of stakeholders for the Caribbean region are to be connected to the supercomputer to form a wide area network using telecommunication lines. All right, what did you say? Identify the most important hardware device that is necessary for this connection. You said servers? All right, that's your
Yeah.
point. Tyrone.
Serial modem,
All right, Sariko.
Router.
Router. All right, cool. Um, Server is definitely wrong. Can't be a server. A server is a computer, a whole computer system. It is not a device. A device are the things we attach to computers for added functions. You can attach a mouse as a device because you want to point, you want to click, you want to draw. A keyboard because you want to type. A microphone as we're using now because you want to speak and have our voices, the sound, transfer through the computers over networks, whether wired or wireless, to other computers, right? The screen or monitor because we want to see. Those are devices. A server is not a device. That is totally dead in the water. Router. A router could be a good answer, but here's a context clue. The phrase here that says telecommunication lines is where the issue is, because this means old time phone lines, and old time phone lines are analog. So because they are analog, it would have to use a modem. All right. So the device here is a modem. So the context clue here, it is going to transmit the data. Let me read again. The local area networks of stakeholders for the Caribbean region are to be connected to the supercomputer to form a wide area network using telecommunication lines. The telecommunication lines are analog lines. All right, Sarika, go ahead.
I was gonna say modem, but the boy already said it, so I gave a different answer. But I figured the both of them could work.
But I'm telling you now why it can't work, why router can't work, right? So modem is a coining of these two words, modulator and demodulator. All right. So here's the point of modem now, right? Mod and dem. Hence the word modem. All right. How we gonna put it? Or mo and dem, or mod and em down here. So whichever way you want to put it. Because there's only one D, right? But anyway, this is a reference to converting digital signals to analog. And demodulator converts analog signals back to digital. All right. So here's the thing. Computers handle digital data, zeros and ones. That's what it is. What we call bits and binary, zeros and ones, right? Bits, binary, bytes, right? So that is what it handles. But you can't send those digital signals over the old time full telecommunication lines. So the modem now, so it sends the data to the modem. The modem modulates the data, converts the digital signals to analog, send it over the phone lines. The receiving computer will have another modem at the other end. When that modem receives those signals, it demodulates. It converts the analog signals back to digital. So the other computer can read the data. That's all it really does. And if I may do this, I might have to stop my sharing for a while. Stop share. And let me do this. Let me see now. Let me do this. Sounds. I think I did this before. No, this just sound like deja vu. But if you guys, if you are not focused and not paying attention, you're going to have problems. All right. So let's get going now. Let me see if I can get this done. Let me share again, but this time I want to share with sound. Share sound. And that's it. So let me hear if I can hear the sound. This is an analog sound. All right. This is what was sent over phone lines back in the day. And I know because I heard them. Since before some of you born, 1997, 98, 99, when Jamaica had dial-up internet, where you had to put into a regular phone line your modem, and the modem would call a number. I think it was 973, a phone line that was connected to an area code in Runaway Bay. 973, I think something 36 or 38, I don't remember, right? When the modem dials out, this is the sound you get. That is the sound you get because that is analog data, continuous flowing of high-pitched sounds. That is analog. But modern day computers don't use analog, they use zeros and ones. So the modem would convert the zeros and ones to that annoying alien sound that you hear. The other modem at the other end picks up that alien Martian sound, converts it back to a set of zeros and ones, so the computer at the other end can use the data. That is what a modem does. Is the term modem. A router can handle digital signals. You don't need telecommunication lines. That is why you have like the Cat5 cable. They have them in the personal notes. Let me say, I sent you my personal notes, guys, because I know that it is going to be difficult to study all that content. So if you have been going through my personal notes, and if you remember your grade 8 content at Oaches High School, you would have seen this thing in grade 8 when you were doing networks. Here it is. I provided the images for them as well, so you can remember. So here is what it is. This is a twisted pair cable. This is how they look. Can handle digital signals. This is called coaxial cable. All right, or we call internet cable back in the day with a copper thing in the middle, sticking out, metal copper thing sticking out, right? And then these are fiber optics, right? Lot of finger-like hairs going through the main cable, here with like, and they send light impulses. So this is like communication by light impulse. This one is digital signals going through a copper cable, and this one going through a copper cable, right? This one now is several copper cables, right? That you would kind of, if you're doing networks, I tell you is orange stripe, orange, then green stripe, blue one, blue stripe, green, and you organize them based on ARB standard, all kind of nonsense. And then you make the cable like this, where you call your internet cable. So it look at the end of it when you terminate it, and you plug that into your TV or your laptop, and you have internet connection wired. The telephone line is a smaller looking one. It's a RJ45. The phone line is a RJ11, much smaller than this, but it's only analog. All right. But since you're not doing computer repairs or networking, you don't need to go into all that data. So you need to know twisted pair cable, coaxial cable, fiber optic cable. Fast, faster, fastest. This one is horribly fast. I mean, persons have said that we have not fully exploited the speed of a fiber optic cable. I mean, as much as you can pipe data, it can handle it. Based upon what I've heard, I think it might know it must come to the limit of it, but are being tested. But no one, a few years ago, just a few years ago, a few years before 2020, It was believed that nobody ever pipes with enough data to max a fiber optic cable speed or bandwidth capacity. All right. So that's how that story went. But the key thing here is telecommunication lines. Once you're communicating over telecommunication lines, you must have a modem. And because I explained in detail what a modem does, part 2 is also answered. All right. So to state the role, you just need to put, for example, a modem works as a modulator and a demodulator while transmitting over phone lines. That's it. You don't need to explain what modulation and demodulation is. Just use the term. As it said, state, not explain or clarify. Right? It said state. And state is just simply that. Just tell what the specific answer. You don't need to go into details. Is that clear to everybody?
Yes, sir.
All right, guys. I really hope that this should not be difficult for most persons, because I'm hoping that you spend some time in the break and go through the papers, at least for those who got breaks. All right. Say 2 examples of industries other than weather forecasting in which supercomputers are still being used. I stated several of those already. Yeah. Say, for example, let me hear what you guys
Sir,
say.
calculated like the rocket beams, sir. Like the
Rocket beams.
no,
Let's be
alright, sir.
careful of your word. Hold on.
I
Let me
didn't
tell you
say
something.
that.
You're going on an exam. There's no one that's going to tell you, say, explain what you just write. The examiner just have the paper and himself. Some of them might not even have Jesus. Some of them might even have the devil and help them. Yeah? You don't know what to mark your paper. Do not give them a reason by the words you choose to take off marks off your paper. Because every mark you lose, it will eventually become catastrophic. If one cook a full basket, one cook
Yeah.
an empty
I'm
basket.
completely
Hello, hi. No, don't talk over me. Listen,
sorry, sir.
you have to pay attention. When you're going to say anything, be precise and be clear. Do not give anyone a chance to take away marks from your paper. Think of your examiner as an enemy. And you need to make sure that when this enemy reads your paper, you don't have no excuse or any doubt as to what you're answering. Don't assume he's your friend.
Sir.
All right. So, Mr. Henry, you had the floor first. Please fix that thing about beam here.
I didn't say beam, sir.
Or whatever you said, never sound right to me. So go ahead now.
Sir, supercomputers are used to calculate the no, not that. Let me completely supercomputers are used to calculate travel between here and space.
So aerospace engineering, eh? Okay, that's one. All right, fine. Somebody give me another one, because I gave you a few of them, earlier this course. So,
The exploration.
civil marine stuff, yeah, fine. Give me another.
Underwater exploration.
Yeah, we just said that. Yeah. Talking about geology, stuff like seismic shift, plate tectonics, earthquake, stuff like that. Yeah.
They're
All of
used
those
for
things
like
are good.
cloud storage.
Go again?
They're used for like cloud storage.
No, you don't use it for cloud storage. You use servers or mainframes, but you don't use for
Right.
cloud storage. These machines are like real powers. You can use them for they're designing aeroplanes, like lift and how wind patterns will affect the lift and so on of an aircraft, and jet thrust engines, and the weight of the aircraft itself, plus the amount of passengers, plus baggage, all of different things to see how much thrust you need from its turbines to lift, how much jet fuel will it use to move from point A to point B based upon speed, all of those different things. So those are the things you'd use it for. Sarika, go ahead.
Scientific research, meteorological data.
Yeah, scientific research and so on. But you want to stay clear of anything that suggests weather forecasting. When I say meteorological data, that can come right into weather forecasting. You clear?
Okay.
Other than. So when you're answering your
Drug
questions,
discovery.
hi. When you're answering your questions, pay attention to key terms. Look for words like except, not, other than, stuff like that, because it totally inverts the answer. So if you'd answer true, because of those situations, the answer now changed to a false kind of situation. You follow me saying to you?
Yes.
Pay attention to those, please, guys. Read your questions carefully. Take note of key terms that hints to you what your answers are or could be.
Is finance an answer?
No,
Like high
we cannot.
frequency trading?
No,
Okay.
nope, nope. All right. Reason being, those mathematical calculations are not intense enough. A supercomputer handles really intense calculations for modeling and forecasting, as in prediction, what is likely to happen based upon historical trends and what the data was going on now. That is what they're used for. So next time I have a hurricane coming out, oh, the hurricane going to move this way, hurricane going to move that way. It might get to category 5 strength, all right, may weaken because of trough in the air or this dry air that's coming down from this direction, or a tropical high pressure or low pressure or depression over here. That it factors all those into consideration. Oh, ocean temperatures too. All of those it factors into consideration to tell you how strong the hurricane going to be, how fast it may intensify, where it may go, how broad it might be, or with it do all of the models, all of that to tell you the possibilities and most likely outcomes. That's a lot of calculations to go off. Yeah. So it's not so anything about finance that's like asking a teenage boy who is playing football, basketball to eat half a bun without water. Like that's nothing at all. I mean half a like little round bun then. Yeah. That's like nothing at all. Like that, no, that's nothing to do. Yeah. All right. E. Say two areas where desktop or personal computers are widely used. That should be a walk in the park. I didn't even bother go through that. If you don't know that, you don't deserve to be doing this exam at all. You have to kill your brain cells over that. Oh, this is this one with that spreadsheet, you know? Oh, jeez. I will scroll up and down and around. Jeez. All right. Let me zoom out a bit because I need to see the spreadsheet. All right. I can't zoom because it might not be legible. Question F in question 1F. The information in worksheet 1 below shows the total sales for each of the months, January and February and March, for 5 salespersons in their particular district. For example, Kathleen Albert, this person here, a salesperson from Port of Spain district, has sales of 1925, 1500, 1350 for the months of January, February, and March, respectively, right? The data in range A1 to E1, that's that, sorry, A1 to E8, A1 to E8 of worksheet 2. Worksheet 2, that's A1 to E8 down here, worksheet 2, all right, was summarized and reorganized from worksheet 1, the original worksheet, to allow for easier reading. All right. So this is worksheet 2. This bigger one was worksheet 1. All right. We haven't enough scrolling still, but so it is. Identify the feature or function of the worksheet which was used to produce the summarized data in worksheet 2. Let me show you two of them. Zoom out a little bit. This is the first we can go. Sarika, hold on, Sarika. Don't go answer the question. There are persons in here who have not answered anything yet. Come on, guys. Who are you? Come answer the question. There are other persons in here who have not answered questions yet. Could you please, you know what? I'm not gonna really kill myself. I'll do that. No, I do that. Person don't want to answer, then don't answer. Not gonna waste time with that. All right. What is the answer for I?
Pivot table.
Pivot table. Thank you very much. State the information that is provided when a value in the grand total row of worksheet 2 is double clicked. What happens?
Sir, it's either a formula or a function.
Really? All right, let me see. Let me open one sheet and I do a pivot table. Did I do a pivot table with this? Yeah. Really? How much files may I have open?
Sums
Where I take so
function,
long?
sir.
Hold on, I'm coming. Why am I coming that takes so long to open this thing? Not logical. Not real. Some issue going on, not too much. Good night, Miss Nika. This it doesn't have to open now. Something wrong. It can't be so much. Well, it's gonna well, no problem. Let me just work on this. Yeah? All right. So let me see. Hold on, pivot stuff. All right, let me just do this. Right, click here, insert pivot table here. Okay. I'm just that. I'm done, right? So if I let me show. Let's zoom up here. All right. This is a grand total here, so right. If I double click this, what happen? See what happen? Let me undo again. Hold on. So, pivot stuff. Sheet. Ah, sorry. Let me double click the grand total thing again. Double click. Do you see what happened?
Yes, sir.
What happened?
Sir, it gives you more detail about how it got the grand total, sir.
Exactly. It brought you back to the point where it got the grand total. What it did. All right. Okay, cool. Let me see what else. Double click. All right, cool. Now part 3. If the values in worksheet 1 are updated, the values in worksheet 2 are not automatically updated. State the 2 steps required in the correct order to manually update the values in worksheet 2. What would you do? Let's say I change this to let me change this to 1900. Wednesday. Let me see what Wednesday is here. So Wednesday is 2200. So let me update to 1900. 1900. All right. Go back here. Wednesday was not updated. See, Not change on a Wednesday. What should I do to get this to update now? Click inside the pivot table, go to Analyze tabs, or click Options tab, click Refresh or Update Data. Right click, pivot table, click Refresh. That's all I need to do. Right click and click Refresh. So I'm not saying what you said, Sarika, couldn't work, but the most shorter way to do is right click in the pivot table and click Refresh. Yeah, that's what I would do. Let's back up out the way. All right, cool. Complete the missing parameters in the VLOOKUP formula for cell B10 of worksheet 2 to find the amount of sales made during the month of March by the salesperson in cell A10. So the salesperson in A10, so scrolling back up, is this person. So tell me now, what would you write for the function? A10 is here. Let me read the question again. Complete the missing parameters in the VLOOKUP formula in cell B10 for worksheet 2 to find the amount of sales during the month of March. That's it. So talk to me now. What would you write? As a matter of fact, can someone complete this lookup function and put it in the chat publicly? Don't send it privately. Send it publicly. Okay. Wow. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. Anybody else? Listen, guys, I don't mean one person, I mean everybody. Everybody. Even if you're not sure what to write, put it there. Put your thoughts on paper. Putting your thoughts on paper sometimes, not even sometimes, most of the times allow you to see in a more clear context where you are wrong. You guys are very discouraging, man. Nah, joke. You guys are going to write the function and put. Can you see my screen though, the functions? Can you see the screen? Let me show you the function. This is the function we get. Control C. And let me show you the function we get already. Control A, Control V. Basically, two persons send me that function. That's what they sent already. Another person send me the same function again. So question, does everybody agree with this function then since I get the same function 3 times? Everybody agree with this function? Yes or no? Okay, yes, sir. I don't. I'll work with that one. Please don't give me the arguments. Your lookup table must be absolute. While this can be relative, your lookup table here must be absolute because you are going to copy the function from one row to another. So this part here must be absolute. All right. So you did not get 5 marks. It's no, the examiner message, you lose 1 mark. You might get 4 out of 5. Oh, no big thing, 4 out of 5, yeah. One cocoa full basket, one cocoa also empty the basket. So guess what? You have been hemorrhaging 1 point throughout this exam. By the time the exam done, you might not pass it. You've been hemorrhaging 1 marks, I think it's no big deal. All right. State the change that would be made to parameter 3 in F4 in order to obtain the grand total for the salesperson in A10. What is it, Jordan? What is the change?
It changes from 4 to 5.
All right, great. Change from 4 to 5. Thank you so much, sir. So far, you have gotten 1 question right out of the 10 we've gone so far. That's wonderful. That sounds like a wonderful way to pass an exam. All right, cool. So let's continue. So this question now, I'll put it back here. Control Z. This 4 would change to 5 because you are going to not work with the month of March anymore. 1, 2, 3, 4 for March. You want the grand total now, which is in row 5. So you want the answer of row 5 to show, not March anymore. So it's no, sorry, not column, not row, column 5, not row 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So column 5 total would show. All right, cool, lovely. Now I think we can move on to question number 2. Geez, we have moved like a snail on turbo. All right. So little over, hold on, we start at 6:30. So we got an hour already. Basically, we're just going to question number 1. No problem. Question number 2. Read that, please, and then tell me what the answer is for A1. Please don't blurt out the answers. Read the question through and then provide the answer. Go ahead, Jordan.
You have input devices such as keyboards and mouse, output devices as the screen or the monitor, central processing unit, and storage devices.
Okay, fine. Fair enough. Part 2 of question 2A. A joystick is a what kind of device?
Input device.
What? Didn't get that. Go again.
Input device.
Input device. A scanner is what kind of device?
It's also input.
Thank you very much. At least CXC can make sure that nobody gets 0 on this test. All right, so everybody get like 2 out of 90. At least that much, hopefully. B, J will need to set up a wired network to facilitate communication between the computer systems. List 3 types of transmission media that could be used to facilitate the communication. Go ahead, Jordan.
Twisted pair cable, coaxial cable, and fiber optic cable.
Okay. Let me see what the chat says. Okay, input. Okay, cool. Previous question. All right. Next up, identify the transmission media in B1, which would be most appropriate for use in the scenario described. Which one would you choose out of the three you mentioned? People?
Fi fiber optics.
Nope. Extremely expensive and hard to set up. It's expensive mean like cost
Coaxial.
way more than the others. Coaxial also no. So there's only one left. Twisted pair.
Fiber optic.
The best one to use is
Twisted
twisted
pairs.
pair. All right. Let's go again. Another spreadsheet question. Yippee. In presenting its proposal for the expansion to the proprietors, J prepares the following spreadsheet which outlines the cost of materials for one of the new branches. Rockside startup. All right. Is the data, tables, chairs, projector, whiteboard, smart screen, lighting, computer systems. These are the item costs, and these are the amount, the quantities that we're ordering for each 12, 2, 24, 15, 2, 2, 1, 15, 15. All right. Write the formula which is required to calculate the total cost in each of the following cells. All right. Cell D4. Cell D4 is right here. Put in the chat, please, what you would write. Well, yes. Equal B4 times C4. If you're buying tables and it's $5,000 a piece, at $12, sorry, $5,000 for each, and at 12 you want, the response more than likely is 12 times 5,000, which is C4 times B4, which will give you around about 60,000. Right? That's something like that. So that is correct. Writing your formulas or functions in uppercase or lowercase don't really matter, right? Just in case you're wondering, doesn't really matter. All right. D14. So in cell D14, what would you write? Right down here. Put that 2 in the chat. Oh, let me see what is here. You cannot put equal sum anything. You cannot put that. If you put that, you are going to be dead wrong. You can't put that. Here is the correct answer. All right. That is the correct answer. Equal B4 plus, equal D4 plus D5 plus D6 plus D7 plus D8 plus D9 plus D10 plus D11 plus D12. That is the correct answer, and I'll tell you why it is correct answer and not equal sum anything, because it did say write the formula, not the function. Write the formula. So when you write equal sum, open brackets, D4 to D12 or so on, you basically wrote a function, not a formula, and you wouldn't even get 1 mark. All right. Question, let me see, did I leave out anything? No. All right, question D. To improve the presentation of the document, J formatted cell A1 across all columns as shown in the spreadsheet on page 9. Page 9 is this page, right? Page 9. What is this formatting called?
Center aligned, sir. Center aligned.
No. Come on, guys.
Merge and
and
center.
center. Merge and center. You guys are really, really, really asleep. All right. Daily lunch. If I want to do the same, as highlight from cell A1 right across to cell C1, and then come up here and click on merge and center. The button on your merge and center. Hope you can see it. That's what it says, merge and center. All right. Next up. List the steps taken by J in the correct order to apply the formatting feature identified in D1. Well, it doesn't do it, right? So highlight the group of cells across the column, whichever ones you want to. Then go up to the ribbon, make sure at the home tab, go to the ribbon and click merge and center, or you could right click in that area and then select merge and center. It should be there. Filter sort dot. Right click. Oh, here it is up here. It's not in this list, it's up here in this one. Merge and center. Yeah. And you're good to go. So either of those two ways are fine. Take the steps in the correct order, required to create a formula to find the average of a range of, listen, state the steps in the correct order required to create a formula to find the average of a range of numbers in a spreadsheet. Put in the chat what you would write, please. Put in the chat what you would write. And get rid of these. All right. One person responded. No, again, no. It says, listen, state the steps in the correct order required to create a formula, not function, a formula to find the average of a range of numbers in a spreadsheet. You know, wasting too much time, yeah? Step number 1, type equal in a particular cell, open brackets, insert the cell addresses you want to add individually, adding each of them. Close the bracket. Then use the divide sign and then place the number, the amount of numbers that you added, and press enter. So what you're going to be doing is basically describing this. Let us say I want to add, oh, I don't want to use so much. Let me find a shorter spreadsheet. Grades, that, find a shorter spreadsheet. let me use this. This is easier, right? So let me work here. So what if I want to average these numbers using a formula? All right, equal, open brackets. Then what I do is put B2 plus B3 plus B4 plus B5 plus B6 plus B7 plus B8. That's what you're doing. And then close the bracket. So step number 1, put an equal sign in the cell. Then step number 2, enter all the cell addresses that you are adding, right? Make sure to put the addition sign between them, yeah? Then outside the bracket to the right, put the divide sign, and then the amount of numbers you're dividing, which in this case is about 7 numbers, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then press enter, and you're done. 17. To make sure that we have it right, what we can do, save yourself some trouble, to prove something. Oops, Joe. Get away. Equal average, open bracket B2, colon B8. This is an example of a function, still 17, right? So this is the example of a function. The one initially done was the formula. Guys, I'm not going to keep telling you that. You need to remember, this shows a significant lack of focus and reading. All right. So, cool. So question 2 is done. Let's move to question 3. All right. So tell me now, stage 3, based upon the symposium that this person wants to have, the 3 IT people that they would want to invite. Shabir was nominated to serve as the team lead, for planning an ICT symposium hosted by Empress Power. List 3 groups of ICT related personnel that Shabir will need to invite to the symposium. Jordan State 1. Jordan State 1 professional that would need to be invited.
Network administrators.
Network administrator. Very good, because you are thinking about setting up networks and different kind of cables to use and so on. So good. That's one. Sarika, tell me another.
Cybersecurity expert.
Cybersecurity expert, yes, because they can connect up networks and so on for a company, and companies must have confidential information they want to protect. Can someone give me another? Data entry personnel, because you have to be entering data into spreadsheets based upon above. You don't enter data into spreadsheets, more than one spreadsheet, and you're doing all kind of calculations and so on. So you need some kind of data entry person to enter the data, at least that much you need. All right. There are 2 ways in which the extensive use of ICT has positively impacted the field of business. This is too many to number. Social media presence, so companies can market to people individually. You can purchase anywhere, anything, anywhere, anytime. You can transact business with companies, more employment. I mean, the sky is the limit. I mean, anything and everything. Even computer teachers right now, learning online. All right. Yes, it's business because some schools are privately owned. So all of these are impacts that computers have had on businesses. All right. Shavi was asked to prepare a memorandum for the Director General outlining the plans for the symposium. The following is an extract of the memorandum prepared using the Word format. All right. So looking at this right away. Okay, from it, and let me zoom out a bit so you can probably see it better. And let's proceed to answer some questions. Oh, it's on another page. So I'm going to scroll. Number 10 for scroll. So let's get going, right? State one reason for using bullets and numbering in a Word document. So state what? One reason. I need two, but Jordan, you give me one.
To organize and clearly present a list of items or points.
Okay, all right. List of points. So you can bullet them. What else? If you're numbering them, what would that show? If you decide to use numbering.
So the order, sir.
Exactly. So one can be, for example, listing things, making it easy to list things. Number two, you give me a summary of information. Number three, with numbers, you want to make sure that you show a particular sequence and order. So there must be step number one, two, first, then number two, then number three, and so on, right? Other than bullets and numbering, identify two formatting features using the extract from the memorandum. Other than bullets and numbering, identify two, me one, four. Yes, Sarika.
Bold
One.
text and
No,
okay.
one. Thank you very much. I need another. Who else is that? Jordan, one more.
Underlined.
All right, that's two. Give me another.
And sir, bold.
I said bold already. Italics. Participant profile is in italics here. All right. Another one is justify. So the words them line up at the edges here. Both edges justified. You also have left aligned. You also have are these the same font? May have font and the font sizes. Those are different formatting features applied. All right, so they ask for two, and we were able to do more than two. One is numbers and numbering. Okay. E. Describe how the positions of paragraph 1 and 2 from the extract can be interchanged using the drag and drop feature. Let me copy these two areas here. All right, copy and put them over here. Admit. Okay, Sarika, go ahead. Tell us.
Select the paragraph using the mouse. Hold down the left mouse button
Yes.
and drag the paragraph to position below paragraph 2. Release the
Bullseye.
mouse.
Bullseye, Ma. Perfect. Thank you very much. That was efficient. E. F is one of the last questions now. Describe the steps used in conducting a spell check in our document. Describe the steps. Let me show you simply how a spell check is done. Let me remove a letter or two from some of these. All right. Yes, Jordan. Only Sarika and Jordan there. Everybody's gonna sleep. Tirona, Sean, John, everybody, and Javan, everybody gonna sleep. Nap time, eh? I tell you guys, I tell you how me stay, you know. You
No
see, if you
one, sir.
guys say I keep not participating, we just in class and go on my bed. Can me have bed too, you know.
There, one, sir. Me there.
You're there, warm to you, you're not here.
No one
Warm, you know,
cares.
so I want to come out and play a game. Huh?
Here, man, sir. Here.
There's some of you
Yeah.
guys who want to playing basketball after school. You may want to give that up for a while till after exam, yeah? And go home
Well,
early and read and study, or stay at school and work together, you know. But the basketball thing, I'm gonna stop, you know. That can do anytime. All right, so spell checking. How would you go about doing that now?
Click the Review tab on the toolbar. Click on Spelling and the Grammar. Right-click the highlighted words and choose Change, Ignore, or Add to Dictionary.
Okay. All right, cool. I get you. All right, so that's why you do the spell check. Cool, fine. Well, I get you. Can I usually prefer just right click still. Right clicking. I prefer right clicking. You know, that's what I prefer. But what you say is perfectly fine though. It's a matter of my preferences. Yeah. I'm done. Can do it that way. Either way is fine. Whichever one you prefer. Sarika, I wasn't going to say anything, but it looked to me like you copy and paste it from somewhere. It really look like you're doing that.
I wrote it in Microsoft.
I don't care where you get it from.
Yeah, but I wrote it.
You wrote it exactly like that, yeah?
Yeah.
So what you sent a while ago is exactly you typing that out.
Yeah, you want me to share my screen? You can see it.
No,
I wrote
no,
all of it.
no problem. And you wrote all of that from your head, yeah? Never copied from anywhere. Not looking at something and typing it. You type it as it
I
is here mentally. I'm just asking, you know, because you're doing it several times and I want to make sure. Because this level of consistency in documenting stuff usually is what you find when you go search something or Google it. So just asking you. It's up to you, you know, because you're already to me. Just want to know that what you're doing is actually your mental representation of your thoughts.
That's it. But
That's
I
so?
actually have a question.
Yeah, but is that so?
Yes.
Okay, all right, cool. We're good then. Yes, go to your question.
If the answers are so simple, why are there so many lines like they're expecting more?
Some people write bigger than others. That's one. Some people might write and use 7, 8 words on this line. Some people might write this and barely can fit 4 or 5 words on the line. So they give you more than adequate space to write whatever you need to write. Fair enough?
Yes. Yes.
All right, cool. I remember, and they make it space like for people like me too who can't write. That's also a possibility. Because you know that normally people can't write. Yeah. My handwriting probably you can just write. It is a white, it is a white sheet of paper, and that's how we can write on that section. Right? So who knows? All right. So we have an algorithm-like thing here to close off this question, and then move to question 4. We started off slowly, to tell you the truth, but we are not making much of a bad time because now 8 o'clock, and would have had, after we finish this question, would have like 20, 25 minutes left to do the last question. And if you notice how we're moving kind of slowly. So you guys say that you don't need to rush to your exam. Spend your time, do your exam. My word of advice is do the questions that value the most marks first. But I'm not the one doing the paper. It's you. As I say, that's what I would do. So if I have, let's say, 5 questions undone, or 5 questions that maybe value 2 or 3 marks, maximum 15 marks I lose. If I leave 2 of these questions undone, for example, it's a 10 marks, you see what I go on this, all right? Enough marks that me lose. Me lose like a 20 odd marks. So it's better you leave 5 questions undone, like 2 or 3 marks, than leave 2 or 3 questions with value of 6, 8, 9, or 10 marks, it better that. Do the questions with the most marks first. Yes, Sarika, go ahead.
Can I send in what I wrote for that question? Because I already did it.
No problem. But not just yet, though. All right. Go through it item by item. All right. Don't send it in, as a matter of fact. Just as we go through it, we'll talk about it. Yeah. There's an algorithm here. So you can look at it, look at the question, read the question carefully, and then state know what it is that we're going to be doing there. So I'm giving you a minute or so to read these 2 paragraphs. Then we jump into the filling in the blanks for these 10 blank sections. All right, let's get going now, right? Number 1 will be what? Sarika, you only get to answer 1. Let me give you 2. Each person get to answer 2, no more. Number 1 is what? Sarika,
Right.
go ahead.
Right.
Right is fine. Write, print, show, any one of those things, yeah? All right. So write, enter participant's age. Number 2,
999 999.
all right, Sarika, you can answer no more questions for this question. All right. So while age is not equal to 999, number 3 is what? Guys, don't even raise your hand. Just answer the question, please. Number 3 is what?
Is it do?
Thank you very much. All right. Number 4. Number 4, set count at count plus what?
H, sir.
No. Just answer the question. Don't raise your hand right now. Just answer the question.
1,
Plus 1 because you're counting. Every time an age is entered, you add 1 more. And then you go down here and say set blank to total minus total divided by count, sorry. Set blank. What is blank here?
Average.
Average. Thank you very much. So T1 can answer more questions after this. Think you have done 2 already. 2 already T1, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So you're saying the average is going to be divided by total divided by count. Yeah? I'm coming. Yeah. So set average to total divided by count. So ever this total added up to divided by the amount entered so far. All right, very good. Write enter another age to terminate the program. Read what is here. So read what is this. Read age. Number 7 is end while. Write the number of participants are. The number of participants are. Count. The average age of the participants are. Average.
Average.
10 is stop.
Sorry, I came back a little
Sir,
late.
sir,
I was out of
Yes.
the loop.
sir. So the read
Okay.
is do while, end while, end while.
Yes. End while. If you're in an algorithm, that's what it is. End while.
Okay, sir.
End the while loop. End it here. End while loop. Because these sections here are printed outside the loop, after the loop. All right, cool. We have 20 minutes left to finish this question. We should be able to finish it within the 2 hours. That would be impressive, because I didn't think we'd finish the paper in 2 hours. How we started off. The Stenet marketing company collects personal data from customers, which it stores on computers, right? Say 2 possible effects of improper storage of data.
So you can lose the data.
Lose data, yes. Loss of data.
Sir, corruption.
Also
Corruption of data, yes. Another one.
Data
so you can also
breach.
expose it to
Data breach. Thank you very much. Hackers and so forth.
There also
Alright.
misplacement of data, sir.
Yeah, loss of data can be categorized in that area. There are 2 measures that can be used to protect the data stored on a computer.
Regular
Backup.
backups.
Backups,
Use of
firewall,
password and
encryption,
encryption.
password, biometrics, protection of hardware. This is how they protect the data.
Firewall,
So let's
sir.
not be about data protection, yeah. Firewall, all of those things, yeah. All right. Outline the function of the loop construct in programming. Why do we use loops?
so to get answers without terminating, to get multiple answers without terminating the program. So
Yeah, I see what you're saying. And while what you're saying is
Efficiency.
true, hold on a minute, please, guys. Come on. All right. I hear what you're saying, and while what you're saying is true, your choice of words betraying your Kai. Get multiple answers, yes, but really what you want to do is to, if you write a program, let us say you wrote this program. Let us say you wrote a program here to add. So let me write a simple program, right? Get year of birth and current year. Simple thing we do all the time at school, right? And then I'd say age equal to current year minus year of birth. I say print age. This is a simple program to tell how old someone is going to be this year, right? So you get the person's year of birth and the current year, 2025, let's say 2020. You subtract the current year 2025 from 2020. I said print age, right? So, but this is a simple thing to do for one person. Imagine you want to do this now for 100 people. What would you do? Control C and then Control V, Control V, Control V, 100 times.
Sir,
Is that what you're going to do?
you can use a for loop.
You can use a loop, but a loop really saves you time and lines of writing a code just by repeating it. That's the main purpose of a loop. You don't have to write a block of code 100 times because you need to do 100. You can use a for loop if you want, or a while. Well, we're going to talk about while loops now, where state two distinguishes. So a loop really prevents you, outline the function of loop, all right? So a loop really prevents you from writing several lines by simply writing a line, like a few lines, and have it repeat. That's really what a loop does for you. A while loop repeats when a condition is true, right? It is called a pre-test loop, for example, because the test is carried out before the loop, before the program loops. So in other words, going back up to this here, right? It says, here's a test. While age is not equal to 999, do the following. So the first thing it does is test first. Is age the same as 999? If it is not, right, it will do it. But if it is not equal, sorry, if it is not equal to 999, all of this occurs. But if it is 999, then it will stop, right? So what we're saying here is a test is carried out first. That's what happened in a do while loop or while loop. In a repeat until loop, because we use QB64, you don't see the effect of it so much. But let me show you an actual program in another language that I've used at times. Geez, this small. Login. Let me show you something using my Google Plus. Google email. So these are some codes I've written for some students over time, right? Let me having various classes. My projects. All right. So, loops practice. Let me see. Does there repeat until loop here? Come on, load now. Why is you not loading? All right, begin. I am gonna create a loop with this, yeah. I repeat until loop. Come down a bit. Back up. Repeat. All right. And let me create a variable to go through this loop. So I'm going to create a variable called x. X as integer. Semicolon. And then I am going to say down here until x equal to 3 semicolon, but up here I must increment x. X therefore equal to x plus 1 semicolon. Now let me run this program. This should run fine. All right, good. So give me the radius of any circle. 5. Oh my God, 7. So the radius for this circle, the circumference of the circle is 31.42 and go 7. The radius for that is 13.99. And then it stops, right? The circumference, the circle is 31 point whatever, and the program stops. All right. So in that program, you can see the test occurred at the end of the loop. Here the test pattern down here, so at the end of the loop, down here. If I want to write this in the same language, Pascal language, but to have it be a do-while loop, circumstances change. I have to put end here, semicolon, and then up here, I'll put this. Hope I remember my syntax then, because I don't write this language very often. While x is less than or equal to 3, do begin. Run that code now. So the test is carried out up here, so this time. Run this program. Same thing again. 5, 7, 10, 11, program done. Yeah, that is the difference between a do while loop. The test is carried out at the beginning of the loop. Repeat until the test is carried out at the end of the loop. The do while loop repeats when a condition is true. The repeat until loop repeats while a condition is false. You also have that in your notes. Go over here. Coming down here, you have all that data there that maybe you never bothered to read. Let me see. Here, when I was looking at the loops, the example them here, repeat, and say until x equal 5. And when I was going to the loop, I said repeat while the condition is false. I explained to you what the various loops are here. Why they do what they do. So it's in my personal notes as well. It's also in your textbook. Is that clear to everybody?
Yes,
Sounds
sir.
like foreign language. We're going to look at it because we'll look at it next week because the request was made to look at problem solving again. So next week will be the 5th of May. So we can look at it that time. We'll try to fit another class in that same week during the week of the 5th. Then we have class again the 12th. We'll try to fit another class somewhere in the 12th. Let's see if we can fit 2 classes in that week because your exam is the 19th. So we'll probably have class Monday, the 12th, then the 13th, and then probably Wednesday or the Thursday, again, to get some more past papers in. And by the time you get to that week, having gone through now a few more past papers, you should start to feel more comfortable. But guys, as I'm telling you again, if you are not spending quality time on your own, but sitting waiting on me, then you know you're going to enter some deep problems. All right? Passing your exams or being successful in your exams. And I'm pretty sure that, well, for some people, 3 is a pass, but you can't carry 3 in my house. You might as well turn your yak and turn away there. You go forget your results and get 3, stay at school. Don't come to me and do it. All right? Let's continue. So we also write an algorithm here. All right? And the algorithm is a very simple one. And another one here as well. So the 2 of them, I said these 2, 10 marks, and this one is 5 marks. So these are questions you don't want to leave out. You don't want to leave out this 5 mark one, this 10 mark one. You don't want to leave out this one up here, so either will value 10 marks. These are the kind of questions you don't want to leave out in an exam. You know for sure problem solving coming. You know for sure it's problem solving coming. You know for sure the spreadsheet coming. So you should never falter on these areas. Because you're sure some of them are coming. So to not be prepared is to really be a really crazy person. Really lunatic. Really a lunatic. But let us see now. So persons might have their own nuance way of writing this. But let me give you an idea of what I would write. All right. Put an algorithm and say define, let us say, price, total, discount as real. Define quantity as integer. Integer. And I'd say, let me see if I prompt the user. Let me see if I use that term, prompt the user. Prompt the cashier to enter the price and quantity of items, no problem. So to make my program short and simple, I'd say prompt for price, comma, quantity. Total equal to price times quantity. The next, because it's algorithm enough, so it not have to run, it not supposed to run. It's just a thought process of how you'd solve a problem. So quantity of items, calculate the discount at 5% of the total if the total is greater than 500. Otherwise, calculate discount at 10%. All right. So cool. So if total is greater than 500, then these are words you have to use. You have to use if. The syntax is if, then, and then later I'm going to put else, yeah? So I put them, underline them. Control U. You cannot leave that out. Is if, then. All right. So we go here now and we say if and then discount equal to total times 0.05 else discount equal to total times 0.1 and if and stop. I should put stop there. Yeah, stop and start. So if, then, bold, underline. So if, then, else. That is the syntax that you have to use. Yes, I see a question, somebody with a hand raised.
Sir, I was asking for like then, sir, can we use do as well, sir, or it must be
No,
then?
do must is a loop, and it's particularly a while loop. You can't use in a
Okay,
for loop, nor can it use in a repeat until loop.
okay,
Right?
sir.
Is if, then, else. If, check. Then what to do? Else, if this is not true, else what should I do? If, then, else. That's the syntax. All right. So this is the first program. You know, let me put this here as an example. Q4 question 4 C and 4 bracket C. No, no copyright on. And let me put this. What year paper is again? Jan 2021, I think it is. I think it's Jan 2021. Yeah, Jan 2021, right? So that is what that looks like. So guys, pay attention to that, right? I'm going to send it to you. Your algorithm must look like mine, but it should look something like it. It's not a loop. It is a selection statement. It is an if statement. All right.
Sir,
Yes.
I don't think that is finished. It said to output
Output what again?
the discount.
Or output discount now? Okay.
Yes,
Let me
sir.
see. Let's see what else I say. The pseudo code
For the total is total and
print should output the total and discount. Okay, sorry. Thank you very much, sir. Very good observation. The print Total, comma, discount. Very good observation, sir. Thank you very much. All right. Print screen. Send this to you guys so you have an example of what it looks like. All right. Goody. So that is that. Next question for what now? Letter grade stuff. All right. So go and get the score. All right. These are 4D. All right, cool. Same question, 4D. All right. Define. Get some variables together. Grade. Define score as integer. Start. Prompt for grade. For score. In this case, now calculate anything. If score greater than or equal to what again? Greater than or equal to 80. That's what it is, right? 80. The 70, then print grade A, right? Print grade A. All right, cool. Equal to 70. Then going to print grade A. Else if. And I'll tell you why we say else if. Because there is another solution to be given. After you say, if it is, you have another check to do. Otherwise, check the marks. So if you're going to check again, if you have to check again to carry out another test, you have to use else if you can't say else, because you can't say else grade greater than whatever. You have to say else if. Else if, get rid of this underline thing. Turn off underline and turn off bold. Else if score greater than or equal to 60, then print one or grade B, something like that.
Yes, sir.
Control B, Control U. For all other marks, display the statement grade not available. So now, because there is nothing else after grade B, now I can put else. No, that's what I'm going to use end if. So I'm going to just bring it down here. To put else, tab, print, grade not available. And you're done. Get rid of that statement here. You're good to go. That is your program for that situation. I'm going to go back and read the question to make sure everything is composite. If a mark entered is greater than or equal to 70, then display the statement grade A. Otherwise, if the mark entered is greater than or equal to 60, then print the statement grade B. For all other marks entered, display the statement grade not available. Perfect. Yeah, so we satisfied those conditions. All right. So this is what we bring in the sum more, so I have more space to do this. All right. So this is the next question. And ship this off to you guys as well. Control V. So guys, I'm saying you don't need to, hold on a second. Oh, your program, your algorithm don't have to look exactly like mine. It doesn't have to. but generally it's going to look something like this. Right? You have to make sure you define your variables. You also want to make sure you have start and stop. What else? What else? Yeah, that's what you want to have. Make sure you have your variables start and stop, and you're good to go after that, right?
In a case like this, you also have to have your else's.
Huh?
In a case like this, you'd also have to have the else, like
My
this
comment, man.
answer.
My comment. Yeah. Go ahead, yeah. Why get the distraction a while ago? We're saying no.
I was saying, sir, that in a case like that, you'd also have to have the else. You didn't mention that when you're listing the essentials in that. You'd also have to
Oh
have
yeah,
the else to represent
yeah.
the
Because the
functions.
syntax is else if, else and if. Let's see. Oh, and crack. I never see it. You know. I never see it. Let me pull this back up, right? You have to have if the test, then what to do, else, because the else come now, else if come now. If this never work out, I have to carry out another test. Then, if this test turns out to be true, what to do? But if it doesn't turn out to be true, else what should be the last result? What should be done? What should be done? Yeah,
Shouldn't it be two and if?
You're not writing the source code. It's an algorithm. You do not execute algorithms. It's just source code, a general idea of what to do. We clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. Algorithms are not executable because if you think for one moment that this thing that CXC right up here so will ever execute, after we fill in the blanks, you have another guess coming. It never execute. An algorithm is just an idea of what you're going to write. It's like you kind of, it's like imagine this. You're building a house and you put out the frame of the house. You know, the 2x4s and you frame it out. But yeah, let me use this example. You're building a house, nice concrete roof, concrete house, everything, but you frame out the roof because you don't want to deck it. You put on a nice little roofing with shingles or decraban or whatever. And you frame out with some 2x4. Do you have a roof yet? You want to stay there when rain fall? That's algorithm. It's just a general framework of what the program will look like. Then after this now, then what you do is to write the code in Pascal or QB64. That is the actual code execution now. But the computer can work with that to get the task done. Yep, that's what it is. All right, sirs and ma'ams.
Yes, sir.
I do not expect that the next time I'm going to do a past paper, I am going to be this much involved. You guys need to be able to start typing out your answers now. You get a lot of time to go through the papers. All right. So let me do this. I am going to put in the group the paper I want you to work on for next class. Nobody can come say, sir, me never know. The next time we meet up next week, having class on Monday, we're going to go through pseudocode or problem solving as a topic, chapter 9. And then now after that, during the week, maybe like the Wednesday or the Thursday, we go through that paper. Am I clear? All right.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys, take care. Don't lose heart. You just keep going. You have some time on your hands. It's not like in grade 11 we have 10 other subjects to focus on. No, most of you just have IT, right? Just get some sleep. Stop the distractions with our game playing or watching movies,